blah, blah, blah.
I initially thought about it. Why don't they just call it Wreck-It Ralph 2? But after watching the movie, it makes complete and total sense why they would make it this. Because despite being a sequel, it's different. Way different.
It is.
Yeah.
They're no longer in the arcade.
Yeah.
Ralphing it in a wreckage type of way.
Yeah. Which I think, as a sacrifice, you do sacrifice a bit of, like, I guess, gaming references. Mm-hmm. But I think they just did a really good job hashing out all of them in the first one. And then they moved on to internet memes.
Yeah.
Which is actually just as great. Despite everything, like, toxic about the internet, they found how somehow sized it down to, how long was it, like 2 hours?
Something like it, yeah.
Felt like 2 hours. So much was packed into this movie.
1 hour, 52 minutes.
Okay, so it's just really close.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it was packed with just so many things. Yes. If anyone has not noticed the fact that there's something in the way of the blinds right there. Yes, it's Wreck-It Ralph and Fix-It Felix. Junior. Who actually played just a somewhat minor role, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that the funny bit about him having to adopt 15 kids due to someone breaking the Candy Rush wheel.
Yeah, to sum up the whole conflict of the movie.
Said.
Yeah. To sum up the whole conflict of the movie, Vanellope is growing rather tired of the same old of doing the same 3 tracks with the same 16 racers, her being one of them. Ralph does his best to try and help her out, help create a new track for her. In the middle of a game, she decides, oh yeah, I'll give it a try. Mm-hmm. And they end up breaking the arcade cabinet. One of the kids is trying to like take control of the game again and rips the steering wheel off. Mm. And so the arcade cabinet for Sugar Rush is decommissioned, and all of the denizens of Sugar Rush are displaced, forcing Ralph and Vanellope to go to E-Boy and get the steering wheel.
Yeah, because, well, I guess you pretty much like summed it up, is just the fact that there was complications in the sense that Ralph, trying to be a good friend, created a new track just for Vanellope to try out. But of course, someone else was playing it and didn't know the tracks and was trying to take control, which conflicts between her and Vanellope caused the whole steering wheel incident. And then the owner came in there like, all you just gotta do is, oh, yeah, it's dead. Forcing him to unplug the arcade machine like from the surge protector, causing everyone in a panic to flee, causing every single character in Sugar Rush to be homeless. Ralph, knowing that it was kind of his fault, helps Vanellope out by both going to the internet that was just recently installed. Wi-Fi, says Sonic. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. And that's when you get just, it's definitely a different shift in just, I felt from the first movie, as far as just, you're kind of sitting in there and you're waiting for all these games to like come at you with their references. And when you go, especially when you, like, you live in the day and age, if you live in the 90s or if you're in the 80s, or I guess even the 70s, and you just so happen to catch up with the internet, and it's just anyone, to just kind of like be immersed in this world that you actually kind of already know about. And it's such a weird thing because it's a fresh new coat of paint. We've never seen anything like this, but this is literally what we go through, just illustrated in the digital space.
It actually has been shown off this way before.
Yeah?
Yeah. Futurama did this deal as well, where they strap on some VR headset and whatnot and traverse the internet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I think it was done another time on another show. I just can't think of it right now.
I'm thinking something Cyber Chase. Is that like I think that might have been a Fairly Odd Parents movie, but that was like, that's also its own take.
There was definitely the Channel Surfers or
Yeah. That was the
movie for the Fairly Odd Parents. But then there's also Cyber Chase, which was a show on PBS in which it had the 3 titular characters kind of go about trying to save Motherboard from an evil virus.
I see.
It's been 16 years since the show started, and they're still pumping out new episodes.
Wow, dude.
They still have not stopped this virus. And here's the thing. The show is based around math and teaching new math lessons.
Okay.
16 years, they're still teaching new math. And it's new math lessons. It's not, oh, we're teaching you division again. It's, no, what are they teaching now?
What episode do they land on letters?
I don't know.
That's when they need to stop.
They're already helping high schoolers with their trigonometry.
At what point do they have dividing by negative numbers? That needs to stop.
All they have to do is find the square root of an imaginary number.
At what point do they isolate X to find Y? God. But in any case, going back to the movie, I actually really liked this movie. I wasn't expecting much out of it because my idea was that like a sequel will not really be as good as the original because the original kind of like introduces everything. It's where the peak conflict occurs, but there's also like harm in this one as well. And I like how they handled it from all sides and how it all built up from the feelings with Ralph towards like Vanellope as far as what she wants to do, trying to restore her world back and just make everything exactly how it was before, and Vanellope having jumped into this new like game slaughter race and being totally in love with that, and then with the cameo of the Disney princesses help to push her to find out what she really wants.
All she had to do was sing into important water.
That was nuts. It happened.
That was such a great song.
It's now an official Disney song now.
A place called Slaughter Race is now my favorite Disney princess song.
Mm-hmm.
Because Princess Vanellope von Schweet is a princess.
Yeah. What's she a princess of? I forget. Is it just Sugar Rush or like a particular part of? Okay.
Sugar Rush.
Just entirely. Okay.
Yep.
That is strange too. Now that I think about like if she's a princess of Sugar Rush, normally the idea would be a princess to stay like in her kingdom, but for Vanellope, it felt better for her to go into Slaughter Race.
Yep.
While everyone else just kind of like moses around in Sugar Rush, and it seems like there was no issues with that either at the end of the movie.
Because our boy Fix-It Felix Jr. and his wife, I can't remember her name, but played by Jane Lynch. Calhoun.
Oh yeah, Calhoun. Oh, they were great.
Yeah. Our lovely couple from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They are hell of a parents, and they get in. Spoiler, in the movie, they give the secret to being a perfect parent.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that, so I can always like keep that in mind when I actually do have kids.
Mm-hmm.
But just the build up for that. Oh, by the way, I don't think it's really been mentioned before, but this spans like 6 years after the first movie.
I was gonna bring that up. This is 6 years after.
And knowing like what Ralph and Vanellope have been through for 6 years, I understand why Vanellope is just so sick and tired of Candy Rush and needs just something else. Meanwhile, Ralph is just, he's kind of like the adult, really. Like, he kind of is an adult. But I'm feeling the same way where it's like, if I had this life, doing everything I do, I'd be totally happy. But for a kid like Vanellope, she wants more. So
at the same time, you do have to kind of come to the realization that our boy Ralph here is very much a simpleton.
Yeah, you're right. Because he wants nothing less, because in the very first beginning of the movie, he just wanted to be something else other than a villain. But he found that one person that liked him for who he was. But now, the conflict in this movie was that he had to let go of that special friend of his because she wanted something else. And I feel like they did a good job portraying that moral lesson that became the drive for the entire movie.
Did you hear that just now?
Hear what?
Elsa singing?
No.
Oh. I heard it.
What the fuck? Gabe, I need to stay here in the real world, all right? I need you to stay here.
You're the one talking about Let It Go.
Oh, yeah. I guess we should talk about the Disney princess. I love how in that entire group, Ariel is the weird eccentric one. Like, they're all weird in their own way. But she is like a tad bit like, oh, I can do this like you humans do.
Yeah, but then there's also Meredith.
Who
no one understands. She's just there.
She's from the other department. She doesn't even go here.
I do want to point out that one of my absolute favorite things was and still is that they kept Cinderella about to shank the fuck out of Vanellope.
Oh my god.
Straight shattered her crystal slipper and threw that right at her neck.
They're vicious.
Dude, she was ready to stab her in the worst way.
Oh, I love them like really just hitting on every single like princess stereotype. Like they've done it in the trailer, but it never lost its charm like on the big screen. It was one of those self like realizations, especially with Vanellope like asking like, "Are you guys all right? Like, should I call a doctor?
Should I call the police?"
Speaking of which, like going to what was it? Oh My Disney World. That was such a treat to see like little cameos like Buzz Lightyear, even Stan Lee. Stan Lee
was in this movie.
Even in, well, I mean, he probably was like part of this in a certain way, but even in passing, he's still in cameos.
He's gonna be in Avengers 4.
Nothing's stopping him.
Nothing's stopping him. Not even death.
No, the fact is that he's now much more free now that his frail body is now gone. He can
strike me down and I will become more powerful than you can imagine.
He'll Excelsior his ass into everything now.
Right?
There's nothing stopping him.
Well, he was in fucking what's it called as well. Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
He was.
Not now, Stanley!
Oh, I love that.
I just love cameos.
They can get someone who voices just like him, and they're just gonna keep it at it.
It won't have the same charm.
Yeah.
His job is done.
Yeah. I was just thinking CGI Stanley.
CGI Stanley, like hologram Tupac.
Like, yeah, like they're going to still continue like Star Wars and still have that one girl.
Nope. There's supposed to be a time skip, I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they were going to still carry on, but with like a CGI version of her.
No.
Okay.
That there's going to be a small time skip and it's just going to be like, oh yeah. They're not even going to bring up that like Leia died. It's just, that's what happened. People died. Time passed.
That's actually good. That's totally fine.
It's called an Irish farewell.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. When nothing is ever brought up about the passing of a character, it's just they're there and then they're not.
Yeah? Like there's no reference whatsoever.
No reference, no I'll see you later, no none of that.
Oh, does this have to deal with the Irish goodbye? Where you're when you're in like an Irish bar and you just leave?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I remember watching that on the Rooster Teeth podcast, and the whole elaboration on that was ridiculous. Anyway, in this movie, it was such a treat to see every single reference that we knew in like modern media just come into play.
It was so hard to keep track of everything when they first entered the internet.
Yeah, I guess that's the point. Just
there was so many different logos that I recognized that I couldn't like consciously view them all.
And I guess it hit on the main ones like Snapchat, Twitter, Goggles, and our Google search for the movie, which is Knows More.
Yeah.
And then eBay or eBoy. Sorry,
eBoy.
Boy.
EBoy.
Oh shit!
Wait, what was that noise you made?
Oh my god. How did they match up that same scenario that a lot of people go through?
Don't know.
Oh, but there's one bit in the eBay scene
Yeah.
that they did cut out in the movie, which led me to another topic which I'll jump into like real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But just going back to that whole bit where they were looking at the cat that was just auctioned, and they were
Oh
like,
yeah, the sad cat.
yeah, like that thing's staring at me like through my soul. Yeah, it's freaking me out. I think I'll be thinking about this for a couple days. But yeah,
that was a small bit that they didn't. They did show the cat.
They did show the cat, but otherwise they kind of like scanned. Just probably passed through that because there was just a lot more to go through.
Yeah, it was a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, but thankfully, near the end of the movie, should I even talk about it?
No.
Okay, just watch to the end. Just watch till the end. Everything, like after the movie and the post credits.
Yep. All the way to the end. Remember.
All the way to, oh yeah, it would be mid credits, but yeah.
Remember, Disney owns Marvel, which means they can now use Marvel tactics and have a freaking pre-credit, mid-credit, and post-credit scene.
And I think it just only helped with the community effect, especially since it is like tacking onto that day and age of the internet where they can do everything that just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I do want to bring up one thing.
Okay.
God! Oh, there you are.
Hey.
Dude, his gross arm. Those... Ugh.
You hear the slight like rubber stretch? Like,
yes! Gord is like a little bean in this movie.
Mm.
He's short and stubby in every way except when he reaches for something.
Equivalent to like Jake the dog?
Yes. He will Mr. Fantastic his arm to you all the way across the room.
Oh, it also reminds me of the scene when they were going to the dark web.
Mm.
And Ralph was trying his best not to reference the little brother on the guy's like chest.
On Double Dan's neck.
Something cis, and I was like, oh no.
There's a rumor.
Oh my god. I love the additional side characters, and they all like play like a pivotal role in like the I guess the overall plot. Shank is the favorite. Yes is the favorite. There was another one. I guess the Disney princesses are technically pivotal too.
Okay, but they got nothing on I believe it was Spamly.
Spamly?
Yeah.
Who was Spamly?
Get rich playing video games.
Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah. That was weird because usually those are the type of things you ignore, and everyone else like made it a point where like you just kind of like pass that on. Mm-hmm. But he was the most recurring like side character, and he was the most helpful too.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
For better or worse, he introduced them into things that moved the story along.
Yeah. So I just love like how well they planned out all the sequences. Shank's being like really cool because she kind of like she's someone that like Vanellope idolizes.
She's simply a badass racer.
Yeah, played by Gal Gadot. It just completes it.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Gal got a gun.
If you want it, just gal get it.
The best puns are the ones you really don't expect. There's the ones you don't expect, but there's the ones you really don't expect.
Right? Like unboxing bees?
Unboxing bees. So I feel like it's also notable to point out that like the character Yes kind of like is what was her role? She was
the head algorithm for BuzzTube.
So in a sense, she is the one who kind of knows like what's good, what's not, and how to move things forward.
Yeah, she's the one that will put your video on the front page.
Yeah.
And not give you, and think of her as the person whose job it is to move this video to the front page and take our videos and put them in the trash.
Oh yeah. But like, I mean, I like her personality too, but just more importantly, I just like how much forward she thinks about like how videos work and how much she's willing to help Ralph and Vanellope. But also the fact that there was a bit where Ralph actually read comments on all the popular videos he's been posting for the sake of building money for a successful yet very regrettable like auction for eBay. Not only winning the wheel, but having to bet a fuck ton of money.
Stupidly.
Where the human competitor was like, oh. Having to raise, what was it? $27,001.
$23,001.
Which is an absurd, like, some money, which they were able to build up, thankfully, with Yes's help, but having to read the comments and also, like, the means to go about it. Reading all these comments saying, like, Ralph is trash. Like, I hate Ralph. And it was like, damn. And I thought, like, well, this is sad, but, like, it seems like he's being reassured. But then the moment where he said, like, I have one friend, and if she's the only support I have, that's all I need. I was like, oh, no. This is building up to something.
It was building up to something.
You don't just leave it like that.
Especially since it was building up to that for a while.
It was. The testament of these two's their relationship was tested out very strongly. They were talking like some kind of, I think it was an interview online just maybe a week or so like before the actual premiere, but they were talking about like how this actually is more focused on like Ralph and Vanellope's relationship now that they've like gone through like hell and back in the first one. Let's see like how strong it can remain, and I think it's like one of the strongest things in this movie that I can connect to as well. Because I don't know, like I think a lot of the Disney movies I've seen so far and Pixar, they're just like really good stories like within themselves. But I don't really get much like of a moral sense or sense out of them, or at least not recently.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Just here's my moral advice for the story. If you want something, go get it.
Go get it. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the whole bit like with Ralph like literally taking over the internet with all these different like videos. I thought that was the thing that explains the title. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
So
he became mad viral though.
He did. But it didn't really matter to him because all he wanted was Vanellope to come home. But to his shock, he eavesdrops on a conversation between her and Gal Gadot's character.
You forgot the name already?
Yeah, I did.
Shank.
It's Shank, thank you. Shank's character, or just Shank, and just talking about how she wants to just stay in Slaughter Race. And Ralph was just like, no, I don't want this. Oh yeah, we were playing Tron, and she didn't get interested because some glitch happened. Let's see if we can get that happening. And so that calls in like Double Dan's help with that virus that would actually adapt to like insecurity.
I'm Double Dan. Which one? He's the real Double Dan.
Oh, I am. And so Ralph like employs this virus to spread all over with insecurities, which actually touches on like Penelope's like uncertainty for not telling Ralph in time, which also like just strains their relationship even more so. So there was just so many reasons for things to happen, and I think it was again well plotted out. Reasons that small little things happen, but it was all to build up to the final like conflict that they have with each other. Which I think I said conflict.
It happens.
Where they finally just like, well, Vanellope starts it. She kind of like splits off from Ralph. Ralph gets upset, and then the virus like tacks onto that insecurity and just spreads across the entire internet. Copy and paste that shit.
Copy and paste it. Very insecure man-child of a beast.
Man-child of a beast, exactly. particularly on the need to be with Vanellope.
Fine.
Nothing is described more silly, but also scary than like a man, baby, child in multiples of like thousands of hundreds of thousands wanting one person.
Forming a giant amalgamation of itself.
That was definitely breaking the internet. But thankfully, again, like it all conglomerated into one Ralph. And at the end of it, it was just like they beat the virus with like talk no jutsu.
Yep.
You gotta let her go.
So when they were confronted with all these virus versions of our boy Ralph, they went to their good old friend Knowsmore and asked, well, what can I do to stop a virus me from killing my friend? Right there. Well, I got two results. One, either take them all to therapy, which is very
impossible.
which is highly improbable. Or you could take them to the antivirus section of the internet and have them all wiped clean if they all go through. Ralph took them to therapy.
He did. Highly improbable. But he did it.
Yep.
He single-handedly cured a virus using just words alone. Where can we find such a program?
I was about to say, do you think I could unvirus my old computers by just telling them it's okay?
It's okay. Like, you just gotta let her go.
Damn it, there's Elsa again.
Don't blame me, blame the movie. Since they're so closely tied in, and the fact that the Disney princesses come in, it's not so necessary, but they decided to add them in there just for a dramatic effect. Just all of them to help out. Hey, look, it's a strong man who needs helping.
Yeah, look, a big strong man in trouble.
And so all of them just came together and saved him.
Some of them were only there just to be there.
No, they were the hype men.
Yeah, I feel that their actions, they could have not been there and things still would have turned out perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Ariel, Snow White, yeah, that's about it. All the others did something.
Yeah, they just kind of cheered on. The favorite bit was like at the end of the rescue.
Tatiana?
Yeah. But like the whole like bang against his head but not feel anything, I felt that. I was like, oh. But of course, it's Tatiana just coming in there and Ralph's response like, oh, hey, Frogger.
You're not Frogger. What's going on?
No, he was totally chill with it. I feel like all of those like demonstrations he'd done in the videos has really just trained him to just kind of be okay with everything.
He's so numb. He's just numb to it all. I know the feeling. There's a point in being a internet personality where you just kind of lose all sense of shame.
Yeah, there's also like a point for all internet personalities to wear a dress.
Felix, are you in my heels? No.
Walks in. That's my favorite bit.
God, that's such an old video. It's 2013.
But it's still so good.
It's still in my head.
The
good old days when PewDiePie was funny. Yeah.
I don't get it. Yeah,
taking a shot at you, Felix. Fight me. We can go back to a candle store.
Yeah. Talk about soap.
Talk about soap. Soap is so important in fucking Switzerland. Was it Switzerland or Sweden?
Either.
I think
it was one of them.
I think
Sweden.
No, because I think it was Switzerland. Because I think I did bring up the Swiss Alps or some shit. I don't know. That was such a grand story of bullshit. If only we had a higher production value so we can
actually
act out some of the things that I'm saying. Kind of like $1 million but type deal.
Oh yeah, I see.
That would definitely and bring entertainment value to these random stories that I come up with sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, like we've done illustrations. Well, I mean that's kind of like side topic, but I guess TLDR is a great movie. Like, I wasn't expecting as much, but I got just as much and then some.
Yeah. The movie does know how to touch on a whole bunch of stuff that most audiences of any age, any demographic, sexual relations, sexual orientations, religious orientations, whatever group you fall under, it has a message for them, and that's that friends come and go, and it's not whether that they're there or not, it's that you know that you guys are still friends no matter the distance.
Yeah. I think I was sort of solidified with like the breaking of the necklace and
Yeah.
how Ralph literally split them off. So even though like they don't get together as much anymore, I mean, still life goes on. They're still friends. So
Yeah, they talk once a week, and they plan on seeing each other in
2 months.
2 months.
It's like pen pals.
That shit's crazy considering they saw each other every day for 6 years.
Yeah. Although I kind of wish that, unless it wasn't explored more, but like, isn't like the distance between them not so far either? So they could. I mean, like we see each other like once a week. So like I was wondering if it'd be that type of relationship instead of like, oh, just a talk to talk like through like email, voicemail, whatever, and then they visit each other.
Well, he could theoretically just go back there and visit, but at the same time, he does have his.
He has his job.
His job, and then his other obligations, such as his book club.
Yeah, he picked up a lot of stuff.
He has a book club with Zangief, Sonic, M. Bison, fucking the I can't remember the bouncy dude that lights up the things.
Was it Qbert?
Qbert.
Okay.
Thank you. Damn, I couldn't think of it. I kept like coming up with a name that started with P. I was like, that's not it. But yeah. And then they have every Friday they have a get together in another arcade cabinet and have a dinner.
Yeah, that's cool.
In the movie they had one in Fix It Felix Jr. where our boy Ralph made burnt pie.
That's a very lively burnt pie.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's made it before. You know, it's weird enough that they literally made videos to be posted on like things like YouTube, BuzzTube, and everything like that. And it's weird that they create it and not some other person doing it. It's like, I mean, obviously they're independent of like people, so they can do that. But it's weird to think about. It's kind of the AI YouTuber. There's a couple of them, but I think the one I have in mind is like Kizuna. Oh, you don't know then. But yeah, it's weird because I'd only assume that people are behind working to just represent her and like the brand that she kind of represents. But to see that in this movie is kind of weird too. And I feel like we're going to get to a point where like an AI will be able to functionally create videos and generate all these different scenarios. Maybe not video game let's plays or whatnot, but
I think the biggest bullshit is the implication that the algorithm that controls what videos get the spotlight and who sees what was making videos.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of a conflict of interest there.
That's true. Especially with Ralph at the very end being a little bit desperate and just pushing people to watch. That was hilarious.
Right.
Literally just fucking it over for people who are just like consuming media on their own downtime. It was funny. But
I think the greatest representation of what it's like to be on the internet came when they first showed the Ralph meme video. Ralph is GOAT.
Yeah.
It was a guy in the office scrolling through, just like seeing it. And then he saw that and he's right there. Hey, check this out.
Oh my god. That's a pretty good one right there.
Especially since I'm almost certain that if he were to comment, it would be like, LOL, laughing out loud, rolling on the floor, funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm screaming.
Dead in the face, just the chuckle.
Yeah, just the. Hey, check this out. It's got nothing on. It's a fucking weird cat.
Okay.
All right. So
I think we've talked a good sum of this movie.
Yeah.
You need to go watch it. Like if you're already still watching and you don't mind the spoilers, but yeah.
Final thoughts?
It's just a fantastic movie, actually. Like even though like the rating so far, as far as like what I'm seeing right now, it's great and not superb. I kind of find it superb because I'm a little bit biased about like the moral standing of like what they were going through and just like the visual effects and every single reference they were able to just squeeze in there. I love every bit about it. So
yeah. Their attention to detail in this is phenomenal. The way that they cover all the things that make the Disney princesses unique in their own way. The relationship and real feeling interactions between Ralph and Vanellope, as well as all the other characters in there. The nuances that would come with what you do when you're on the clock and off the clock, that they show with Shank and her gang, as well as the scroll bar credits.
Oh, can we talk about a side note for game avatars just moving in the space?
Yeah.
So weird, like.
Okay. No. I want to know how there was a high definition version of an 80s arcade cabinet character.
You got me. You got me, dude.
That was something that I thought about as I was watching the movie. It wasn't an afterthought when the movie was over. It was, as I was watching, I was like, wait, where did they get a high poly version of Ralph? Anyway, that's our discussion.
Oh my god. It's a great movie. Just go watch it. Yeah. We'll end it here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. # bye, everyone. Say goodbye to these guys.
Out of 5, how many golden hammers would you give it?
Oh shit. 5. Just straight 5.
I'll give it 4 2/3.
I'll give it like 4 and like 3 nuts. All right.